it's higher quality when you do that.
There you go.
Thank you.
Good job. Thank you.
Amazing what you can do from the other side of the ocean.
Call this meeting to order, October 28th, 2021, the Emmaus Rotary Club Board of Directors. We'll start with approving the minutes of September 23. I think Jim sent those out. Any additions, corrections? Entertain a motion from the board. Megan, second Nellie. Discussion. All in favor, aye. Aye. Motion.
Aye.
Aye.
That's our approved. Thank you. Just a reminder that we are under a little time constraint here this morning. I'm sorry if I hurry us along, but Robert has another event coming up and we need to be out of here by 8:30 this morning. I know that's a problem. You'd rather stay till lunchtime, but I'm sorry, we're going to have to be out here a little bit quicker today. Jean is filling in for Jim. Jim is not here today. Jean, anything with the secretary's report or anything with numbers or anything you have there that you wanted to present to us?
We have 5 meetings in September. Total average is 42%. We make up. Average physical and virtual make up 30%. 91 active, 5 online.
Thank you. Okay, Chris Wills was a little under the weather the last few days, did not send his report, excuse me, treasurer's report. So he will have that out today, tomorrow, or over the weekend for us to take a look at. No significant changes. But he sends his apologies, he just hasn't been clear on that. Okay, going through the old business. First of all, Roger is here. Roger, I know he has to go. Roger, you had 1 or 2 things. We'll let you jump in first here if you'd like to.
With regard to
Centennial?
the centennial celebration, at the moment we have on the steering committee, Gary, Rohrbach, Megan Reed, J.P. Renock, and Alexa Sheldraws. And we can always use more volunteers as we move forward. That currently is a steering committee and I had requested a line item in the budget going forward. I think you said $1,000.
Did, and I forgot to do it for this year. I did not include it, but we will find money. You'll see there's something at the end that I sent to you about a framing of the original charter. And why don't you do the relief help and then we'll take care of the charter.
Okay. Finally, I've been in touch with a guy by the name of Bob Vaughn, who's the governor of a district in southeast of New Orleans, about helping out with Hurricane Ida. And I passed out today the current up-to-date correspondence from Bob. They have their hands full, to say the least. And I'm wondering if the board would authorize me to pursue the need here, as he pointed out in the email, they need camp stoves. Pardon me, I'm not sure. And mattresses. What would you like me to do in terms of pursuing that particular request you have before you? Then I could get some idea of what money they're talking about. And if that's something that the board would like to pursue.
What's from the board?
So it's canceling the mattresses that are the main.
There's an area southeast of New Orleans, they have virtually nothing. And that they pointed out that's an immediate need.
How many?
I don't know.
And it would be us shipping to them?
I'm
Would
sorry.
it be us shipping them it to them or just giving them the money?
I would suggest giving them money so that they could purchase these items down there. I could pursue that in terms of what money we're talking about. But I need to have a go-ahead if that's something the club would like to do to help these people.
Sydney?
My question would be based on our current budget, where we would take that money from. But one idea would be to talk to Rick Zayats and see if the area clubs all want to chip in a little bit. Because this is a surprise to our budget and we do have emergency needs. But that way, I know Rick would follow up with it before we make a commitment. That would just be a suggestion, because it's going to be thousands of dollars for what they need.
Why don't you explore it a little bit further, get a sense of what the total dollar amount will be? So that's a great idea.
Yes,
Well, let's do that and see if we can divvy it up amongst this. I'll talk to Chris Wills about maybe what we can pull some money from. I know we have some miscellaneous, that's why I'm going to suggest a charter framing come out. But let's get us a bigger number. And I like the idea of buying the stuff down there. It certainly would help them.
Absolutely.
Available down there. But one thing I was thinking is that this is a really nice concrete thing for the Interact Club too. You know, like, it's nice when students are like, we're getting this, and they know exactly what they're doing. And sometimes they're looking for, I don't know how active the Interact.
That's a
Club
very
is.
creative suggestion.
Yeah.
Thank you. All right, well, that's what
So I'll
I'll
throw it
do
back
with
to
your
you.
permission.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay, thank you, Roger.
All right, I'm
Let's,
sorry.
while Roger is here, Roger, we have in our packet, and I'm sorry, and I apologize, I forgot Sal wasn't going to be here. He usually copies these things. But I had in the, what I sent to you, Roger's Centennial Group asked about the original charter being framed, which is about $306. I have the estimate here. 301.12. I'm going to ask discussion about this. The money I talked to Christian yesterday about miscellaneous, an important piece from our club's history. I would recommend that we do it, but certainly with the decision.
Where did it go?
Where was it?
It'll be stored in my house.
On your wall over the mantle?
Yeah, yeah. That's where we're keeping it.
Well, what is seriously, Roger, what will happen with this is once it's framed, it's going to go to the Emmaus Historical Society. Correct? That's where much of this archival material is going to go. And this certainly will look much better there rather than rolled up in a vault somewhere in a file cabinet.
Or in my living room.
Probably not your living room. Unless it's for a fireside chat, then you may quarrel. All right, yay or nay, board? What do you think? Make a motion to approve. Okay. Second, Courtney, discussion. All those in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Any negatives, any nays? Okay, the motion carries then. I will.
While I'm here, do you have any questions about the centennial? I know it's 4 years away, but any comments or observations?
Roger, my only observation is that the steering committee is a really good idea to get that started rather than the whole club. We're going to throw it to you, really come up with ideas, bring them to us going forward. A really good group there. That's super.
All right,
All right, thank you.
thank you.
Roger, would you please work with Chris Wills then to do the framing thing? And email him and ask him to, to authorize a check or whatever. I'm gonna throw that back to you then to take
You
care of
bet.
it.
I'll
Okay?
take care of it.
All right, thank you. All right, moving forward.
Thank you.
Anything from Rick, anything on the golf outing? I know they're supposed to have a final number to us.
Mario is just about done. He's in Myrtle Beach this week, and we're taking care of thank yous. And I bothered him again because he was just finishing up with the last of the sponsors, so that should be coming.
Okay, they assured me by Thanksgiving they will have this wrapped up, which will be trust me, will be a record-breaking thing. Update Cindy, Rick on feeding student program.
Okay, just real quick, we are having some supply issues like everybody else in the country. Our new person at Second Harvest is trying to help us. This week, I had to go to the store and buy canned fruit. There was no canned fruit available for 100 pantries in our house. It's crazy. So there's a new person at Bethel. I've talked to him. We're coordinating. We're getting a delivery on Monday. I've ordered actually a couple hundred items of everything for more than a month like we did before. I said we could pay for it, and we're waiting to see what actually will come. Spend a little bit of money, which we still have to spend the 10,000. So I think it'll be back on track, but it was a little hairy this past week for the first time ever.
Thank you, sir. And I gotta tell you, giving out food, I do it once a month, and people are so appreciative. I mean, it's just a wonderful thing to do. To do it every week is crazy, but we have the queen of crazy over here, so we're on. Update on Weiss Planner and Make a Difference Days. These two ladies here.
The white planter, my husband will go with Rick Slosser, and they will plant it, but my husband's going away today, so it'll be another week at least.
What are you gonna do? I thought we were just gonna put the sign in the corner.
Yes, yeah, but it has to have a concrete.
Really?
Yeah.
I just pounded it.
No. It has to have a concrete base.
Karen, do you need help with getting concrete?
No, we have concrete at home, so that would be free. My husband will probably just pay Rick to do it.
Okay.
Where's it
my
going to
dad
go?
does Concrete. You need
Where's it going to go?
Yeah.
Right where we had it before. So we'll make sure, I'll text you to come down to Weiss to see, the best possible place. But
Okay.
Where it was before.
Okay.
Was there concrete before?
No, there wasn't, but it's the only way it's going to stand up.
I'm like, they're okay with more concrete.
They're not worried about it. No, it's going to be in the ground. Dig a
So
hole,
just like
put it in the ground.
Little thing.
Yeah.
Okay.
Put the thing in.
Alright.
That's how it's all works.
Let me know when I'll meet you. I think I know it. Same place. And Make a Difference Day. We're all done with those for the month,
We're all
right?
done.
Did a great job. I mean,
Nice
so
job.
serious
Yeah.
work. Both of you did a super job. A lot of smiling faces. Every place I went, everyone I went to, it was just great. It was just a good run. This is what we're about: service and fellowship.
So we'll just
leadership.
put a little bit in for, we'll take a little bit of money out, probably be about $100, because we did get a lot of donations. So. For the food, mainly for the food buying.
Great job. Thank you. The Rotary Means Business Initiative at 8 Oaks on September 30th. I sent out 6 emails about 2 days ago to contacts from there, 3 from Project Kindness, 1, 2 from, I forget the name, like something Inco something, and Heroes First Bank. I haven't heard back from any of them, inviting them to come to a meeting. So I don't know, I'm not sure where we're gonna go with that, but we'll see what Gail Michael wants to do for them. That's a little disappointed in it, in that it was a lot of Rotarians there. It was more about fellowship than it was about, I would say more, but it wasn't as much about networking with future possible Rotarians, or as much a fellowship with that. But I'm glad she did it. It was good fun, too. I don't have anything from Lexa on Purple Pinky.
Over 40 grand now.
40 grand, super. How much from our club?
I forget.
Okay, 40, that's-
And other clubs are actually having some events that were later than October. So
Okay. Contact information on the website. I guess, Eric, you were connected to that with, and maybe Courtney, website, brochure, who answers the phones, checks emails and so on, maybe more.
I have the 2 brochures, if that's what we're talking
no,
about.
I changed that. I took out the old contact email and put in a new one, but I have to do some testing.
Okay, so you'll finish that
I'm
up.
gonna
then.
work with Eric on
I just worry if one of these people from 8 Oaks emails us, who's going to get it?
Right.
Or they call.
it. It's in there.
Okay.
And Eric, I know, is checking, but I don't know how it is.
And Eric was going to work on the credit cards at the sign-in for other events. So Eric, when you're back in town, let's talk a little bit about the credit cards at the sign-in table and events and so on. Okay?
Yes, we can get it ready to go, and I just have to finalize the details of doing that, but within the next couple of weeks, we'll be able to do that.
Anything else under old business that perhaps I missed? Okay, going on to Hero Shelter Box recognition. had that in the packet. We got a letter from Linda Major. I'd like to extend my congratulations to MAS Rotary for maintaining your Shuttlebox Hero Club status. I like that. So we're certainly very thankful. We did, what, $2,000 again, I believe, for Shuttlebox. It's a wonderful thing to do. And someone is so appreciative, great picture. Didn't show up on here, but a great picture of a gentleman carrying the Shuttlebox, which I think is a very cool picture. Okay. I had this idea of not finding for logos. I really have, I guess maybe it's the 8 Oaks thing and networking. I don't know, any thoughts on that? That's a Dale Dries thing. That goes back a lot of years. Finding people who wear logos and so on their shirts. Anybody care about that? Maybe
I
it's just.
actually have something to say about that. So when we're trying to maybe, diversify our membership with different types of classifications, right? So you have people who might be contractors or whatever, and they might need to get to work right after a meeting, and their uniform is the thing that they wear. So we might have to really think about wearing a uniform to a meeting, not finding logos.
Yeah, I don't think you should be punished for that. I think you're right. If we want people to come, I can't wear my, whatever, my products logo or my bank logo or whatever it is. I don't know, I never really understood that. Being punished, not like, of course, we don't want somebody sitting there like JP talking about his insurance agency for, through the whole deal, but he wouldn't do that. He knows better than to do that.
I know better than to do that, but unfortunately, guys like me are dying breed.
Really?
Yes.
I agree. So if I could be devil's advocate on that, as I said before, like, I don't want to see us become like Diet BNI or Diet Latip. Like, the reality is that business networking groups are business networking groups. This is a community service organization. I just want to make sure that, like, we don't end up blurring that line so much that we end up becoming a business networking group instead.
Yeah, that's important to me too. I don't want
It is
that to
very
make
important.
easier, but I also don't want to make people have to hide their whatever to walk in the door.
And I think the word is exclusion, honestly, because as we're diversifying our classifications, what are they going to do? Like bring their bag in to go to the bathroom if they have to run out to a work site or something? So I think it's a double-edged sword.
It is.
Because unless you're wearing more clothes that are not like that.
The reality of it is, I think most of the classifications that we're targeting are not guys that are going to be wearing logos. PPL guys that work for B-Braun, they're not wearing logo shirts. They're wearing, golf shirts or jackets and ties to work. Number two, every time you get fined for having a logo on your shirt, you just got free advertising from the sergeant.
Exactly.
That's
They point out, it's ironic. He's now pointing out, look at the guy with the logo on his shirt. You get to stand up and give him $1 and say, oh, I wore my Harney Durham oil shirt today. So,
Sure. So it's funny how you think sometimes.
Yeah, it is. I think it's fun. It's also fun when you're being fined just for $1 and you're doing an ad. Me.
I mean, I get the concern. If we get, like, to use my example, if we get a Harney Durham oil guy that's got to wear an HD Durham shirt with his name on one side and the logo on the other, you're not going to find him every week because it's kind of a joke. But when a guy like me wears his all stick, go ahead and find him. Or Let used to pay in advance for the whole year because he always wore his
I just feel like sometimes we downplay networking among ourselves. And we should be working with each other and helping each other. We're Rotarians, for God's sake. Who else can you trust? Yes. No, you can trust Rotarians. I just feel like beating up on networking. Oh, we don't have, we should be networking. Okay, so board, what do you think? Am I crazy there? Should we just forget about it?
It's the subject, but it's like, it should happen organically anyway.
Can I toss in here at all? Sorry, go ahead, Courtney. Go ahead, Courtney. You were first. I just want to make sure I have a little input when you're done.
I was just gonna say that it seems like the amount of fines has really decreased anyway.
It has.
Because I think it can be a deterrent. I think it's fine.
Okay, and my thought is, sorry, Mike.
It just seems like we're having a lot less fines lately.
For half hours.
Yeah.
Okay, my thought moving forward is that the sergeant at arms should not be a budget item. Yes, we'll do our fines, happy dollars, but the thing I don't like is our sergeant having to say, hey, I have a budget to meet. Because that to me is putting us all under pressure. It's just, look, we know we do fines and happy dollars. Yes, I don't think people wearing logo shirts should be penalized for doing such a thing. I get JP's idea as well on it, but you know, to me, at the end of the day, whatever money the sergeant at arms collects is just like a little bonus money for our budget. It should not be any pressure on the sergeant to make money for our club.
Interesting idea. All right. By the power vested in me, I'm going to say no fines for logo shirts. Now, what was it to try? Becomes a problem if JP starts sporting his insurance shirt and flaunting it. And
Your lucky
talking
polo
about it,
shirt
then we'll go
seats.
back.
That's all I'm gonna say.
All right, I'll let Don know. Next thing, District Governor 24-25 recommendation, I had that attached. Is there anyone in the club that we feel should be recommended for District Governor?
Did we just vote on that or not?
No, I just made it up. I guess we should.
Yeah.
Well, just let him do it and see what happens.
So how do you,
Don't make it so formal that you're restricting everything we do. Just let it happen and see what he says. And you can come back and yell at him later.
Then we'll have to like.
So you
change
have
it.
the
Yeah, don't be
You have the
changing
authority to
it.
do
Just
that.
say, Mike's
I don't
based on his.
All right,
I'm just thinking
I'll tell you,
about
let's
it.
have- let's
Talk
just
to
have it out.
Dawn.
Okay. Make the motion, somebody make the motion. Courtney, make the motion.
Yeah, I don't really. I was just making sure we were dotting our i's and crossing our t's. If you had to, like, if you couldn't automatically make this a law.
So I make the motion. I make the motion that we no longer fine people who are wearing logo shirts.
Second. Second by Megan. Discussion. All those in favor, raise your hand. Raise your hand, Eric. Wade?
I did. I have 2 hands raised.
I'm a no vote.
I'm not sure how many we have there.
Is Sal still there?
So,
Sal jumped off.
So then you don't have a quorum.
No, we don't.
Oh,
have
we
a
don't.
quorum. All right.
So you can just talk to the surgeon.
I'll talk to him. I'll talk to him. I don't think.
And then it's not official.
All right, number 4, District Governor recommendation. Is there anybody in the club, and Cindy, you know this better than I do, at this time of year, they recommend, clubs can recommend who we would like to see as governors in a few years in advance. And this is 2024, 2025.
yeah, but what happens is the person has to come to the club has to sign it's from our club.
Yeah, there's a lot of paperwork. Two things. Any thoughts?
So this is clubs who think that maybe there's a member of their club they'd like to nominate.
What happens is somebody's interested in being governor, they go talk to their club. The club under their rules has to sign a resolution. So somebody would have talked to Mike or a member of the board if they were interested. Nobody in our club's interested, just so you know.
I don't think there's any interest for anybody. No one's talking.
And it's 24, 25, but we have to do it 3 years out because of the rules.
All right, so I'm not presuming, no one has talked to me. If they do, I will bring it to the board. Next, Meals on Wheels. And I feel an obligation whenever I get any of these things. I'm sure we get many solicitations. They're asking for $2,000 or whatever. We have no money in the budget for Meals on Wheels. We had people involved in the club. Ralph Lewis, I think, did it for many years with Meals on Wheels, but we have no money in the club.
But it's part of the local service budget if they want.
If we wanted to do it in the local service budget, yeah, if we want to send them some money. You know, for service. Toilet project, I have the local projects. I have a food program for $1,000.
That's wrong. Chris didn't fix it.
Yeah, it should be. So it looks like we have $1,000 in for both projects. Let's just call it that. You want to send them some money, no money?
Karen Nicole, do you need to talk about it with the committee to see? if
And I
it's-
usually send out an email to the committee asking if they are for it or against it.
Okay, but we don't have $2,000. Something, okay,
$500 or. So we only have 1,000 total, so we.
I don't
And I don't
think
think that's right.
Chris, I have the notes. I am going to email him to tell him what to do.
Yeah, I don't think
The
that's
food
right.
program has $10,025 that was supposed to be.
Yeah, it's not right, because we talked about this
He put
before.
1,000 in the local, but I think you either had like 3,000 or 4,000 for local projects minus whatever you spent.
all right, so.
I was gonna
Nicole-
talk to Chris again today to make sure that both those local and international were right, and we'll fix it before next
Please
month.
fix it. And Nicole, if you could talk to Cindy, let's get this squared away, make sure the numbers are correct. They're where they're supposed to be. That's what
I thought
With the
Nicole,
email.
wasn't it 3,000 or 4,000?
Because I think I made a comment about that before.
Yes,
Yeah.
I'll leave it up to you. You take care of that. Wheels on Wheels. We had, the next is that Jim has resigned as the secretary of the club. So we certainly thank Jim for his 3 years of service, did a great job. He is the king of Excel spreadsheets, I'll tell you. I asked him for more than one to get me squared away with some things that I was doing as president. I certainly really do appreciate that, what he's done over the last 3 years. Super job. And quantifying it, the next person has a job description actually to work from. That's gold for us going forward. So certainly, Jim, wherever you are, thank you for all the wonderful. And that brings us to approving Gene, who has jumped into the breach here today to help us out here with as club secretary. I put out the email to the whole club, and Gene responded, "Yeah, I'd like to give that a try." You know, it's, we do have to approve her bylaws. She has to be approved by the board. So if someone would make that motion.
We don't have a quorum.
We don't have a
We
quorum.
don't have a quorum. Yeah, because John just is.
Um,
dropping off 1,000.
Did we put in when, Eric, when we changed the bylaws to allow electronic balloting? I thought we did, but I can't remember if that was district by the board, if you need to, if they were approved.
Yes, as far as I know, we can, but at the end of the day, the board just appoints the secretary position. So I don't even know that it technically has to be voted on.
You sure it's a point or approved?
Appoint.
It's- So you still need a majority to allow the appointment.
Right, you need a majority.
Electronically?
Yeah.
Yes. Yes, as far as I know, the board can vote electronically as well.
So I will put something out when I go home. I'll put something out to make it official. But Gene Penn, unless there's some overwhelming, I'm pretty sure you're going to be the club secretary. So thank you for jumping in. and telling me.
Thank you very much.
And I know Jim has been working with you already to do the transition. We will certainly all work with you as well. There's a lot to learn. It's a lot of data collection and putting numbers in. If I may, already give you one little assignment. Yesterday, as I was distributing food at the high school, it was a little slow time, so I figured I'm going to go on to my club runner, and I called about half a dozen people yesterday, Woody being one of them, just to check in with them. But I saw some names here I'm just not sure of, like Lori Weber.
Yeah, she's a member.
I would know Lori.
She works at a bank.
And she was coming right before shutdown.
Yeah, she joined right at the shutdown, and then I tried several times as membership to like track her down, and I haven't gotten any response from her. I've made like 5 or 6
How
attempts.
about Don Heller?
Well, Dawn Heller is he even alive anymore?
I don't know. That's,
Don Heller is senior active. I don't know if Don Heller's ever come to a Rotary meeting. He's been to one or two that I've personally invited him to, like Veterans Day or one of our anniversary or somebody's perfect attendance.
I don't even know if he can anymore.
No, he's fine. He does dues and rules of the mercantile.
Oh, okay.
Tammy Kita.
Tammy
She's at
Keat is
school.
one of the teachers,
Right.
okay, at school, and she's been
She's still a
hanging
member.
out with somebody. Yeah, she pays.
Yeah, she's at the music committee as well.
Yeah, she,
All right, well.
she can't come. That was one of the deals.
I understand. I know she's right. Okay. We have something that wasn't on the agenda. Alicia came by yesterday and she gave this packet to Jim and to me. She would like to be approved as a member under the Rule of 85. Rule of 85 states that if you have minimum 20 years of service to any Rotary Club and your age, for example, the minimum would be if you were 65 and you had 20 years, the number equals 85. Then you are released from attendance requirements, which we don't have anyway, but more importantly, and I was rereading in the bylaws last night, just a reminder that we have a requirement that all members do at least 12 meetings/events. This releases from that. This is something that as a board, we should probably take a look at sometime, because we have people right now who are not doing that, those 12. But Alicia, from what I see, absolutely, and knowing Alicia, she gave us plenty of documentation of why she should be approved for Rule of 85. Unfortunately, without the coordinator, but I'll put that in the email as well, to vote for Alicia to fall under the Rule of 85. What questions do you have about that? Okay, I will take care of that.
That's the same as senior, right? Senior active or not? That's what,
Every senior active has the Rule of 85.
yeah, that's
And
like
when we
Don
were-
Heller. Yeah.
Right, and when we were redoing the bylaws, we kept that in there kind of as a changeover, and Eric, correct me, for our membership requirements versus Rule of 85. So it's something you might want to look at.
I know that was one thing I asked, we put in the bylaws, just because we had so many kind of questions about it over these years, that we should quantify it.
Well, and if I remember correctly, Rule of 85 applies more to our membership fees to Rotary International, since there is no attendance requirement. But those with Rule of 85 who wanted to actually still have, perfect attendance, that's where some of that would come into play. But it's kind of almost a non-existent thing. So I mean, it exists there, but it's not a critical thing anymore.
I don't know anybody who is following through on that.
And they don't go against your attendance
No.
either. So you don't count Rule of 85 guys against your club attendance. They're pulled out of the denominator.
Right.
Okay, thank you. I'll take care of that. We're into standing committee reports. Anybody else?
I just have a quick update that I just learned yesterday. As you know, we have had two global grants on hold in Zambia because of COVID. I talked to Rotary International and I talked to the local club in Zambia. We are now starting to work on those. It will probably, those two grants are worth about $90,000 with the Rotary. So those are big projects. The schools, they're starting their rainy season. I won't go into long stories. So we will have draft applications in there. Probably won't even be approved till next spring because they can't do it, but they're starting construction on the one science building. We'll be supporting all the equipment. They're going to repair the roof on another building, and that will redo all the computers and education materials from the exchange. So that is going to be a huge amount of work. With that, because of the new Rotary rules, we'll probably have zero left in international, not only for carryover, but to do any future projects, which I'll be talking to Megan about with the grants, just because of the nature of that with the cash flow. So all good stuff. I will report once we get the applications in. It's going to be months because they're slow in effort.
Rose.
So International Women's Day Committee, that timestamp this morning at 3:20 really was me awake at 3:20 working. Community award nominations are being sought and due January 21st of 2022. And it's only our club that can nominate somebody who fits the criteria. So that email was sent out, and I believe letters were also sent to all of the area's presidents for the Rotarian nomination. So that's where, I know that piece, that's where we are, and Alicia and all of us have been working pretty hard, but please look at your email. That's one committee. Youth Exchange Committee, applications are being entered. Our student did sign up for long-term, and she's in the application process. We have 2 students who are potentially, correct me if I'm wrong, interested in short-term exchange. None of those have any impact to the club other than our sponsorship. There's no financial requirement from us, but just so we know that we are involved in it. And then Youth Committee, I have been working with Tony. I'm going to be going to our local Interact Club to do a presentation and get the students logged in as alumni. Even if they're in school, if they're at least 16 years of age, they can log in as an alumni and get into the Rotary database. Their information is kept private until the age of 18, but that way we're capturing our youth. So that's the 3 areas I've been working on.
Thank you, Rose. That's all good stuff. That's
Yeah.
good. Cool. Yeah. And just following up on Interact, Megan and Tony and I are trying to get together with Amy, Conant's Interact Club to chat with them about some activities going forward. We're not trying to make a Zoom meeting on Tuesday, so we can certainly have Megan involved just because of her a fun hat that she wears, crown that she wears, excuse me, and that she'll be president next year. So I want her definitely involved. Good, thank you. Other committee reports.
Just want to let you know, John Chiska's back. So I don't know if that affects your quorum or not.
I think it's 7.
Yep, sounds like it. Was it?
With Eric and
John.
John.
The kids interfered. I'm sorry, Mike.
Yeah, there's 7 now.
We do have 7.
I have 7.
All right, so if we have 7, let's go to appointing Jean. Those in favor of appointing Jean? Make a motion, thank you. Motion by Megan, second by Nellie. Discussion? All those in favor of appointing Jean as our club secretary, raise your hands. I see 5. Eric, yea or nay?
Is he frozen? Oh, no, there he is.
There he is. Are you a yay, Eric?
Yay.
Pointing.
Yes. All right.
All right.
Yay.
Yes, I raised my hand.
I was gonna say. In a nail biter, she squeaks in.
I think you're pausing that while you're having some beer.
I don't know if you
All
guys
right,
saw, but Eric is
congratulations, Jean, you are now a
Yay.
And let's take care of Alicia, rule of 85. Those, somebody make a motion, please. Courtney makes a motion, second by Megan. Alicia rule is ordinance be approved under the rule of 85 going forward. We have the motion. Any discussion? All those in favor, raise your hands.
Aye.
Aye.
7 ayes, yay. Woo, well, that was close.
And you thought there was
Ooh, I don't have to send that email. All right, thank you. Thanks for coming back, John. Okay, any other standing committee reports?
membership of committee really quick. We were going to have our fireside chat. Roger had opened up his house for it. Unfortunately, we didn't have enough RSVPs, so we decided to postpone till the spring, and then any new members that we have, we'll invite them as well. We do hope to have our new member table in November, so we just have to organize that. And that's about, and then we have 600 because we did a first printing of these Emmaus Rotary little palm cards. The first one does not have the email address. The second one does, but I think they both can be used. I was thinking one thing that we could do is just use them. Somebody, members could put a little sticky on top, write a little note like, hey, I'd love to have you come join me. If you're interested, here's my cell phone number, text me. And then we can hand them out.
What's the email on the ones with the
with the email. Oh, yeah, and Eric printed them. Thanks to Eric for printing the ones that we needed quickly because we didn't have the email. This is the one, isn't it? Oh, no,
No,
this is the
this
old one.
These
Okay.
are ones we
The
had.
email is emmausrotary@gmail.com.
Oh,
What I do is I take the cards that we have, our business cards, and I write my name and I put my phone number on it, and I'll staple it to this, and I give it to
Good idea.
clients at the store.
Oh, that's great. Yeah. Good idea.
How about maybe at the next meeting, maybe giving some of those out and just telling the whole membership thing about it? That'd be super.
Yeah, just putting a sticky on it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I like the
yeah.
idea of putting our cards on it.
Yeah,
That's
that
so
too.
they can use their cards. Okay, super. Thank you, Courtney. Lee, do you got something?
Yeah, so on the latter half of the membership committee, as Courtney kind of handles the front end and I'm kind of on the backside of things. One of the things we're looking at is the retention aspect of things. And we were trying to do exit interviews. It didn't really go the way that I had hoped. Jeff Boyer stepped up to assist me in kind of coalescing this into something a little more formal. He and I have a lunch meeting, I believe, scheduled sometime in mid-November to work on that aspect of things. Also with the DEI situation, I met with the folks that are still involved in DEI, and we're working on some solutions that will allow them to continue to make some progress, and also to help membership become a more of a welcoming initiative group as well. So some good things coming down the pipeline, I'd like to think, at least. So we're going to continue to push forward in a multitude of different areas.
Well, one of the things that I was thinking of the other day is that, we're looking at diversity of classifications, and that certainly falls into membership as well. So I was actually thinking today I put out an email to everybody about just remind everybody about here's 15 different ways we can think about funding members. As the finder in chief here, continue to serve. It's great having Ishmael here today for this meeting. His name was actually on my list of people to call. So he and I were going to chat anyway. So I love going to those councils. I want to start talking to them and going to maybe some of their meetings and so on. But service-minded folks to come and visit us. All right, what other standing committees do we have? Any other reports?
May I ask a question? It's not committee related.
Go ahead.
Where as a member at large, can I read the minutes if I'm not here? Because and see where we are budget-wise? Because I know that it gets dispersed among the board, but are we as members at large able to review minutes if we don't come to a board meeting?
Absolutely, sure.
So where do we find them?
That's a really good question.
They were being posted on Club Runner under the documents section, because when I was looking to update a whole bunch of stuff. But let me check that. Let's just check access.
Maybe that's something that can be added so that way people know what's going on rather than just coming to meetings.
They've
If they
always
want to.
been in the documents, but I don't think that we've published that for quite a while.
And I didn't know about it. So I'm just saying maybe we
So
could publish and
it's-
just say, hey, it's there.
Let's just double check. You be my double check, Megan. I'm gonna check to make sure the documents are set up. We can teach her how to do that. Adding it to the trumpet just makes the trumpet longer, but we could say, if you're interested in finding, here's the most updated information.
That's all I was looking for.
Yeah,
Just as a
that would-
reminder
that's
to the
a good
membership,
idea.
just to say, hey, if you want to know, what's happening at our board meetings, visit your Club Runner, which a lot of people don't, and maybe that's a alerting tool also.
I thought Jim was posting. We usually send an email. It's an email, but the posting to look back, I'm not sure has been consistent. And we should do that anyway, because you can archive documents and then the paper gets less and you can archive month to month. And a lot of people are starting to do that. So we'll, in this next month.
I think there's two issues there. Brooks, thank you for bringing that up.
Yeah.
I took a thought of that. I think Steve Gould was doing that. Actually. He was putting something in the trumpet about the next board meeting. I can certainly do that. I hear what you're saying, Cindy. Somewhere I should have that in there, but I would think I would be the one who archives it on the doc since I write it, or does that come to the secretary? I'm not sure.
Well, it's like the
There's-
minutes and stuff, so it'd be secretary, it's in secretary.
There's two things. Yeah, I'm pretty sure Jim has been doing it. I know Chris Wills has not been doing it. However, usually in the archive or document section, you can put several documents. So you should may title it minutes of board meeting, including treasurer reports. And then you could communicate to the club, here's where you go and look at that. It's available to everybody.
So you have a working with Gene then? to
Yeah,
show her
I'll
where-
look in this next week because I gotta talk to Chris.
Documents, but you're right, it should be both. It should be minutes or the agenda. And the treasurer's report each month should be archived somewhere. And minutes as well. So,
I gotta talk to him anyway because we thought we had this treasure stuff fixed so that Nicole and Mel knew what they were doing and somehow has gotten behind. So
that's good.
Just really quick, I know it's 9:30 and I have to take off, but just one idea was, I brought it up in another meeting, is we can do working minutes. So you only have 1 minute document for an entire year and you add the information to the section. So if somebody goes back under minutes, it's just one document. You're not looking through every month. That's just an idea. And then you could just have the link to that one document.
then you have to scroll down to everything now. Right.
Well, then
Just
your
have a title.
section.
Does it just put in the title and it goes to that, does it?
On Google Docs.
I can show you.
I think that's what Jim was doing. Wasn't it? That all this stuff was crossed out and red and so on. I found it a little hard. Oh, maybe there's another way to do it. Okay.
They can just say.
We'll leave it up to our new secretary to decide how she wants to do that. Whatever Jean wants to do is going to be correct.
You're gonna make a great.
What other, we're at 9:30, what other committee reports do you have? Okay. First, thank you. I have nothing else, hearing nothing else. I will declare this meeting adjourned. We've gone through the agenda. Adjourned 9:30. That is a new record, folks.
So do you want to?
I will stop recording here.